Okay, so I watched your 59, Alec, and I actually thought you had 55 or something like that, but it's alright. I watched your video, and I'm just gonna go through it. This is your 59, and this is my 50, just for comparison's sake. So let's go through this run. Alright, so the first thing you do. Oh, this thing is so laggy. Okay, so the first thing you do is PP7 discard, which is completely fine if you're consistent with it. It's not a major time loss, so if you're doing it, then I recommend you keep doing it. It's okay. But a problem happens when over here, you see this tree over here. For some reason, you go outside of it rather than inside. And I'll tell you that when you go outside of it, um, and you aim for this mine throw, you pay attention to this mine throw, but you don't really realize that there's a tree over here which you're gonna bang into and like lose so much time at. So just watch what you do over here. It's like you hug that tree for like a whole second, and your strafing is kind of clumsy over here. So this part needs a lot of work. And what I recommend you do is this tree over here, instead of going outside of it, you should go on the inside. And when you do that, like I do here, you can clearly see this tree. I mean, I'm on widescreen, so it's much easier for me, but even on full screen, I don't think it's a problem. So you want to go here, and like you can clearly, easily, see where you're going. So you don't have to worry about throwing a mine like you're doing over here and getting stuck on this tree. So for the first thing you gotta do is that tree over here. You want to go on the inside of it and just follow the line which I take, or rather what everyone takes in their videos. So that's the first thing you want to do. It'll make this a lot easier, and you'll see over here when you use that strat. Uh, 1 second. All right. So you'll be over here, and you want to throw the mine here. Now most people would throw the mine while strafing, like I do here. You can clearly tell. But if it's a problem for you, then you can probably do it while just walking forward. It doesn't lose too much time, but ideally it's something that you could do on the strafe pretty easily. So the next thing is now when I do this mine throw over here, you'll see that I instantly change strafe. And why I do that is so that you'll see I can clearly see this tree and this tree, so I know I'm not going to bang into any of them because it's very easy for me to see that I just have to go through the middle. You can see I take a really nice line there. Now when you're facing this way, uh, you look here for a second, but then you turn back. So you don't know how close you are to the tree on that side, and you don't know if you're going to hit it. Now most people also use this strafe, which is fine, but I don't recommend you do that since, if you're having problems with getting stuck and all the strafing over here. But you went through there quite nicely, so I don't think it's a major problem. It's just that I recommend using that strafe. This is fine. That small stuck, but that might be related to your boost. But I found this to be okay. That mine throw. I throw it on the floor over here like that and detonate it later because it really reduces the lag later on. And it's something I would probably recommend you do as well. But it's alright. Anyways, again, your strafing is fine here. Your strafing is fine here. You did this pretty nicely. And this throw was also okay. Like you were walking forward here, which is okay. It's like a time loss, but not that significant since you have a 59. Um, this walking forward thing over here, which you're doing, this is what I was suggesting for your first mine throw in case you're using my strat, which I hope you do. So Where is it? Yeah, over here. So if you should take this line, and then if you can't do it while strafing, like for example if it hits the tree, then you could just walk forward like you did with this third drone. Would make it a lot easier. So that drone was okay. The strafe line you take here is also fine. This mine boost is good, but look how much damage you take. That is a lot of damage, and you want to detonate that just a little bit later, like a couple of tenths, and you'll see it saves so much of your health. Otherwise this was good. Now another problem here is this mine throw. I think you aim too high, and the main goal is that you want this mine to land on the tree, and you detonate it over here in midair. Watch how I do it. You can see it nicely just lands on that tree over there, and I switch to the AR-33. I don't have to worry about switching to the AR-33 manually because it's my last mine. Oh, never mind. It isn't my last mine. But I just throw it and then I switch to AR-33, which is pretty easy and much easier than detonating it and then switching. So the problem you're making here is that you're aiming way too high, and if you do throw it a bit late, then you want to turn a little more to this side so that your mine lands on the tree. The main goal is you just want the mine to land on the tree, and it's not a big issue, but this is something I highly recommend you try to do. So if you aimed a little lower, it probably would have landed here, but if you throw the mine late, then you could always just turn a little more to the left, and then you could make it hit that tree. And then over here, your Xenia was in a really terrible spot. Now you'll see that when I hit this mine, I try to hug this tree. I don't hug it, but I try to be as close to it as possible, like that much, so that when you just come out, Xenia's just standing over here. Really nice spot. Now in your video I noticed that you were also quite close to it, but try to be a little bit more closer and to the left. Like, you don't want to be hugging it obviously, but you just want to be to the left of it, and I think that might improve your Xenia odds. Like, when she's over here, that's a pretty bad spot. In my run she was somewhere on the right side over here. And you actually did a pretty good job of killing her since she was in that spot. You had a bad animation as well. So this was done quite nicely, but you want her to be on the right side. Now another problem you make here is, well, first of all, this is kind of the pussy strat. Strafe change and shoot the drone. See if you can do something like this, which is, I mean, you can't see the trees over here, but see if you can learn the timing of going into the cave. That would probably help you quite a bit. But anyways, using this is still okay. But if you do it, you made two mistakes here. One is that your nade you aimed it way too low. You can clearly tell that nade is just way too low. Just watch it again. Another thing is, it's too much to the right. So when you approach it, you get backed over here, and that's something you don't want. So just watch it one more time. It's too low and it's too much to the right. And then you get hit by your own nade, which is pretty harmful. Like, it would have been better to just use an RCP 920 to shoot it. But this is something which is pretty easy. I mean, all you gotta do is just aim a bit higher. Aim a bit higher and more to the left. That's gonna improve it a lot. Right? And you'll notice, well, I noticed at least, that your strafing is kind of clumsy over here. Like that weird turn. This part is okay. You switch to the nade to nade and RCP, which I found a bit odd, because most people tend to switch to the mine and then back switch to a single nade over here. But what you're doing is okay. It's just that I just found it weird, and it's not something I would do. So your warp is a bit late. You could probably warp a bit earlier. Let me check on my warp. Yeah, you'll notice that mine is a bit quicker. I changed weapons earlier than you do. But that's an insignificant detail. You don't have to worry about it right now, since you have 59. So, anyways, that was nice. This was also nice. Uh, you can get a nice boost from this if you aim the nade over here. Your nade was a bit, too much. Uh, it was kind of behind the drone. Notice how close I am to that drone. Like I am right next to it when I'm giving myself that boost, and I hardly take damage. You could probably do that, be a bit closer, and okay, something you do terrible over here is going outside of these crates. This is something really terrible. Like if you look here, hold on, I can time it right. All right, look at this. The angle at which you're strafing is, it would be ideal for you to take this path and go inside of these crates. But what you do here is something really, really bad. Looks like you're going this way, but what you actually do is that you turn over here and then you go outside of the crates, and that is a pretty big time loss. Let's see it once more. I'll put it in a slow speed. Yeah, that is pretty ugly. I don't think this thing helped, but anyways, I hope you noticed. You should probably try to go inside of it. Like, even if you get backed, it's still better to go on the inside. And then the line you take here is also kind of bad. Like, you're way too close to the wall, like really, really close. You want to turn much earlier than that. If you watch my 50, you can see that I'm like in the middle, like I'm between that wall. I'm between both walls on the left and the right side, and you want to do the same. You look what you do here. You're like literally touching this wall. You don't really want to do that. Otherwise, this part was fine. Notice how, like, when I'm at this wall, I like angle myself to go towards the left wall. Like I'm in the middle, but I strafe diagonally towards the left side, so that when I'm here, I'm like almost touching it, and I'm close to warping this part. Like I could easily warp this, and that's what you want to do. So just see that one more time. You're really close to this wall. You could have turned a lot earlier, but the main problem here is not the fact that you turned earlier, it's the fact that you went outside of those crates. These crates, you don't want to do that. You want to go inside of them. Even if you get backed, just practice that. Otherwise, this is decent. Your warp was pretty good as well. So, this might be a lot of information, but those were all the problems I noticed with your run, and I hope this video helped. Now, I don't want you to, look at each thing and improve on it. What I would say is that look at the level on a macroscopic level, and what I would suggest you do, the first thing you should do is focus on your lines, because one thing I noticed in general is you're kind of all over the place with your strafing, and it's apparent that you get stuck on the trees and you don't really know where you're going most of the time. So what I recommend you do is turn on Bond Invisible and try to do a few practice runs where all you do is strafe to the ending, or at least strafe the first half of the level to the bridge, to make sure you know where you're going. Like, you don't want this. You don't want something like that to happen. And you could probably perfect your movement more. So turn on Bond Invisible and practice your strafing, particularly the start. And after a few runs, you're probably gonna, you're gonna find the strafing easy, and you're gonna know that, you won't get stuck in the tree if you take the proper lines. So that's something you want to do. And then after that, try to do a few runs, still with the Bond Invisible, but with the mine throws added. so that you're good with the mine throws as well. Now your second mine throw is fine, but your first mine throw and the mine after the bridge, those two need a lot of work. So that's what I would recommend for the beginning. Just play out a lot of runs with Bond Invisible, get a feel for the lines, and eventually you're going to be good enough that when you play regularly, you'll probably do well. And then over here you want to be close to this tree, you know that. This part, see if you could, use what I did here, the look down boost, and then shooting a nade at a drone. I think this is a bit tricky, so if you still want to use your strat, it's okay, but make sure you throw the nade in the proper spot, like I said, a little up and to the left, otherwise it's okay. And this part was for the most part okay, you don't really need to work on this right now. But this is a big fucking problem, like you don't want to strafe on the outside here. This was pretty bad. And this strafing too close to the wall as you're approaching this area, you don't want to be right at the wall, you want to be somewhere in the middle. But that's going to be fixed anyway when you take the path inside the crate box, this one over here. So yeah, that's about it. That's my criticism. I hope it helps. I could probably make a good tutorial with control input display and explain things more, meticulously. But I kind of like, I'm just recording I don't know, this video. I'm just seeing it for like the second time, and I'm stuttering a lot while speaking because I haven't really practiced this shit. But anyways, I hope this video helped. I'm actually talking through my phone, and I'm recording on OBS. So after I'm done recording this WhatsApp voice note, I'm just gonna plaster both of them onto Sony Vegas. Then I'll probably upload this to YouTube. Anyways, hope it helped, and happy playing jungle, mate.